Hi guys, welcome back to Saturday Morning Cartooning, the show where we learn about cartoon characters from the past, the people that created them, and then we learn to draw them together. Today we're learning about the magical, mystical world of Beach City and Steven Universe. Steven Universe was an animated show that ran on Cartoon Network from 2013 to 2020. The show tells the story of a young boy, Steven Universe, who lives with the crystal gems, magical humanoid aliens named Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl, in the fictional town of Beach City. Steven, who is half gem, has adventures with his friends and helps the gems protect the world from their own kind. The show was created by artist and writer Rebecca Sugar. Before she created Steven Universe, Sugar worked on the popular Adventure Time show. Steven Universe is credited with being the first show on Cartoon Network to be created and developed completely by a woman. Inspired by her life growing up, Rebecca Sugar based the show and the character of Steven Universe on her own brother, Steven. Steven Sugar was even one of the artists who worked on the show. The character designs were meant to be simple and recognizable, so we see smooth lines and minimal examples of body understructure or articulation. The head designs of the three main gems, Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl, were inspired by the teachings of world-famous artist Vasily Kandinsky and his use of simple geometric structures like spheres, cones, and cubes. Steven Universe proved to be a popular Cartoon Network show that eventually evolved into a great representation of positive self-image and inclusivity. As a result, the fan base of the show grew to include not only children, but teens and adults as well.
All right, let's get started with Steven Universe. Make sure you have your paper ready, your pencil that you like, an eraser that you like, and your inking marker. I think I'm just going to use a regular old fine point today. We're going to need some colors. We're going to need a peachy flesh tone. We're going to need red for his shirt. Two different kinds of blue for his pants. He's going to have dark blue and he's going to have lighter blue cuffs. And we're going to need yellow for the star on his shirt. Alright, so let's take a look at the reference photo. He is just a bunch of really simple shapes, which is actually going to make this particular character easy to draw. His head is almost like a puffy lowercase letter D. You know, it's kind of like up here, but then it kind of like bows out over here. And what's really interesting is that his arms and his legs, they don't taper. A normal human arm would get narrower as it goes down the body, but they just stay the same width, arms and legs. All right, so let's get started. Basic shapes first. Remember, with your pencil, keep it nice and light to begin with. And we're going to start with a head shape. Like I said, sort of like a puffy lowercase letter D. So he's going to have his head and then his cheek off to one side. Actually kind of looks like a sideways heart too, you know, with one side bigger than the other. All right, his body is real simple. It's just this round, maybe egg shape. All right. His one arm's going to go out this way. It's going to go slightly up. In fact, I'm going to just sketch in a bit of his shoulder, and then I'm going to go out. So one arm's going to go out this way. That's just his thumb. And this is where the fingers will be, but I'm going to draw in the fingers later. And I want his other arm to be at the same angle as this arm. So I'm just going to eyeball it. And then I'm going to start this arm going out that way. Maybe we'll go up just a tiny little bit. There we go. So this arm's going to go out this way. Here's his thumb. And right now I'm just drawing it as if it was a mitten. Okay. One leg is going to be bent slightly. You know, right now he kind of looks like Frosty the Snowman, because he doesn't have any of his features in there yet, but we're getting to that. Remember, always draw basic shapes first. So we got one leg coming down this way. It's got a bend in the knee, and here's his sandaled foot. All right, and then the other one is going to go straight down. It's not going to have a bend in the knee. And what's interesting is about on this foot, we're going to see the underside of the foot a little bit. So we're going to bow it out this way. And that's sort of going to be where we see the underside of his foot, like right here. Let's erase the arrow. And now we can start putting in the features, because that is the basic shape of Steven Universe. So let's start with his face. Let's put in one eye right about here, and then the other one slightly smaller, not hardly smaller at all, right there. But his nose is going to cut off a part of that eye, so he's going to have just this little like a little letter L shape right here, but it's going to cut off the bottom part of this eye. Put in his pupils, which are just some ovals right there, and he's got this really wide grin that is almost sort of like a very thin bean shape. And it's just real simple. He's got a big smile, big toothy smile. It's nothing but teeth. Also, his nostrils are just two little lines right there. All right, he's going to have one eyebrow here, and then the other eyebrow is going to go off the edge of that shape there. And let's put in his ear before we draw in his hair. So we're gonna see one ear here, and then his hair is gonna come around it. So it's gonna go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the rest of it's gonna be tucked behind his arm. But he is gonna have a little bit of a sideburn right here. I always describe his hair as almost like a cloud. You know, when we're kids and we're drawing an outdoor scene and all our clouds just look like these perfect fluffy little things, that's sort of like Steven's hair. Just cleaning up that line a little bit. And we're good. Alright, let's draw in his sleeves. We're going to have one there, and there's going to be one here. What makes it real easy is that we're basically just drawing in, just cleaning up that line a little bit, because I want his arm line to go straight into the head. And we're going to lift up this shoulder just a little bit so that they remain on that same line. See, you can see it along the line of my pencil. Yeah, and when you're drawing on his clothes just cling to the form, the shape of the body that we drew. So you don't really have to draw clothes, you just really have to draw lines where the clothes are. All right? So there's his shirt. Let's do the star next. Sometimes it's a little difficult to draw a star. You know, when we are growing up, we learn to draw a star like that. At least that's how I learned to draw a star. With Steven's star, it's a rounded star. So you want to make sure that it's got all these rounded edges and not so pointy. So we're just going to draw these curved arcs. So we're going to do one there, one there, and one there, and then two down here. So 1 and 2, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, let's draw on individual fingers. We're going to start with a thumb, alright, which we already drew, and then we're going to change this mitten shape into his fingers. So we're going to have one finger going down, and then he's going to have 3 fingers that are touching each other. So it's going to be 1, 2, and 3. Back up and into the sleeve. Oh, and we're going to have a little line right there, just as a little indication of the palm of the hand. Let's do the same over here. 1, 2, 3. Back into the arm, palm of the hand. Okay, I'm going to start working on the legs now. So he's going to be wearing these jeans that go down, create a little bit of a cuff right here. And that just goes into the other side. Down. Remember, we're seeing the underside of this foot, so we're going to have, whereas this is curving downward, this cuff is going to curve upward. And then we're going to put in that cuff right there. He also has a zipper right here. Alright, probably the hardest part of today's drawing is going to be drawing his sandals. We're going to be drawing the sole first, then the top portion, and then individual toes. Alright, let's do this one first. So here's the sole of his sandal. And here is the part that wraps around the toes. So that's the part that's going to wrap around the big toe. So let's draw on that big toe. And then this is the part that goes around the other toes. So this is the part. He's got one big toe here, and then this wraps around the 3 toes at the end. Alright. Here, the sole is going to be bending in the opposite direction. Remember, this bends downward, this bends upward. So here's the sole. Here is the one toe. And then, depending on how your drawing is, you might not even see the other toes. And that just makes things simpler. Because on my drawing, you barely see the other toes. Okay. And I think we are ready to ink. So remember, be careful with your permanent marker. They will stain if you're not careful. So let's start with the face and the head. We're going to do the nose first. Because that's going to be cutting off part of this eye. So let's draw on that eye. And the pupil. And the other eye. Okay. Let's do this ear. His eyebrows. Remember, this eyebrow goes over the edge of the face and into the hair. We're not, as you'll see a little bit later, it's not going to make that much of a difference if it doesn't, because his hair is black. In fact, actually, his hair is very, 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 very dark brown. You probably can't even see it on the screen, but it's actually very dark brown and not black. But I like the way the black looks on the finished drawing, so we're going to do his hair in black. Let's do his sideburn, and then the hair going around the head to the other side of the face, and this cheek. I'm stopping right there because I want to ink in the shoulder here, and I want it to cut off a portion, a very small portion of his face right there. So I'm going to draw in the arm, the shoulder right there, and then the other side of the head right there. While we're at it, let's give him his smile. And then you can go ahead and do his hair. Okay. Let's ink in the rest of this arm. Remember, the one finger is not connected to the other three. It's separated. And this arm goes inside the edge of the body just a little bit. Let's do this one. Sleeve, and then we can start doing his body. I'm making it his cuffs and his zipper. Now I'm going to go back to the dreaded feet. So I'm just going to put a little line for the top of the foot right there, and then I'm going to ink in the sandal straps, all one piece, as you can see. And then I want to connect this one piece to the sole. So I'm going to just do that line right there, and then the other line of the sole towards the toes. And two lines going down, connect them across. So now the sandal looks like it's all one piece. And now we could put the big toe in, and then those other toes right there, right? This one, we're going to draw our line down. We're going to do the strap of the big toe. We only see that it doesn't connect to the other strap. That's the bottom of the sandal. Big toe, that's the other strap, and the other toes that we barely see. So you don't really have to worry too much about that. Alright. The last thing you can do is ink in the star. You actually don't even really have to ink in the star if you don't want to. I'm going to do it just for simplicity's sake. But if you just wanted to color in your star and then color in the shirt around it, you can do that too. Let's do that line for his palm of his hand. And then we are ready to erase the original pencil line. So take a little bit of time and do that carefully with your eraser. Alright, first things first, let's do the skin tone. And the skin tone is going to be visible on the face, on the hands and upper arm. And on the toes and the heels. All right, remember when I said his hair is actually very, very dark brown, but I'm just going to use black because that's what I have handy, and I just like the way it looks better. All those last little bits. There we go. We are going to use some red for his shirt. And we're going to use the same color on his sandals. Yellow for the star. Dark blue for his jeans. And we're going to use a little bit of light blue for the cuffs. There he is, Steven Universe.